Despite being stereotyped as an open-minded sign, which don't get me wrong, they are, Sagittarius moons have a habit of sticking to their guns. The moon rules our emotions, how we recall events, and the stories that we tell ourselves. And Sagittarius moons are really oriented towards the truth. And because the moon is a moody, unpredictable, and changeable space, Sagittarius flails a little bit as it tries to find a clear path towards what is really happening. A Sag moon may forget their own bias and mistake their emotions for the truth. They're independent and at their best concerned for the underdog, willing to set aside their own needs for the benefit of the greater good. But their victories are spontaneous. They'll help your kid if they fall off a bike, but if you ask them to babysit next week, well, that's a different story. It's really all about timing for this moon sign. You have to catch them when they're confident. Because Sag is a mutable sign and a winter fire sign, it has a hot and cold disposition and has a difficult time knowing what it'll be capable of tomorrow. Because they're a fire sign, people assume through their energy that they are expendable. But the mutable quality actually makes them easily overwhelmed, and they wish that people notice that about them so they can cut them a little more slack. Hot take, but they kind of want people to leave them alone. But people leaving you alone won't help you with your overstimulation problem. Occupying yourself with talents and distractions seems to keep the lid on, but you're afraid that if you slow down, you might fall into quicksand, so you keep going without knowing how to stop. But dealing with emotions requires you to pause. But because Sag Moon is not pausing long enough to consider the contradictions within their own emotional experiences, they lean on a black and white system. Kind of funny how in their day-to-day they are spreading themselves in thousands of different directions because they understand that a human being can't just be one thing. But when it comes to deep emotional matters, when they hurt or are hurting others, they resort to deciding fiercely who is right and who is wrong just to keep things simple and move on. Their optimism is a double-edged sword, leading them to believe that they will conquer all gray areas and finally find that pure, crystal clear truth. But their idealism is what makes them feel safe, and that's why they rely on it so heavily. The moon positions us as either the hero or the victim in our own story because those are the most incontestable and uncomplicated roles and where the emotion is the most clear. So Sag declares those roles bluntly. Sag has a complicated relationship to its own limits. So when a Sag has to show up, there is an excess and a lack of tact in how they express themselves. Handling emotional nuance may not be their strong suit at first, but this sign excels in mindfulness and being generous with themselves and others. So when they address their inner division, they will flourish.